Welcome to the eCommerce Badassery podcast, the place for scrappy entrepreneurs who want to learn actionable steps and strategies to grow the traffic, sales, and profit in your e-commerce business. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster, a 20-year retail veteran and former brick-and-mortar boutique owner who spent 3 years as the only employee of a 7-figure online store. That shit was crazy. I know exactly how it feels to do all the things, and I'm sharing everything I learned the hard way so you don't have to. I may have started this business by accident, but supporting badass bosses like you lights me the fuck up, and I am so stoked to see you grow. Are you ready, babe? Let's roll. Welcome back to the eCommerce Badassery podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. I have a few updates that I've been wanting to share with you, so today's episode is a bit of a mixed bag. Let's call it a roundup episode. We've got some tech updates, some marketing updates, and even a very new and exciting change to one of my courses that I'm kicking myself for not thinking of sooner. So let's just jump right in. We're going to start with changes to Email Badassery. If you're not familiar, Email Badassery is where I take my same process for doing done-for-you email automation setups, which is essentially how I started eCommerce Badassery, and walk you through the system to apply to your business. The end goal? You set up a suite of optimized email automations unique to your business, customer, and products using my system, and then you generate revenue on autopilot. Up until now, the course has been available with a self-study option, and then I had a cohort-style live course where you got group support from me for a 12-week period. I honestly struggled to schedule and execute the launches for these, and each time I launched it, inevitably, there were people asking, when's the next time you're going to do it live? Because this isn't the exact right time for me. So I changed the structure of the live course. Instead of being stuck with this static 12-week period, you can now join anytime until July and get 90 days of access to the live version of the course. That includes a private community and bi-weekly live calls with yours truly. During your 90-day access, you'll get a minimum of 6 live calls, and I'll be in the community pretty much daily to answer your questions. I am going to be cutting off enrollment in July to ensure that the support window doesn't spill over into Q4. The only real downside is it does kind of remove the natural urgency that comes with strict timelines. And as you know, urgency definitely helps people take action. I talk about using urgency in your own marketing all of the time. But all of that said, I'm excited to open this up to make it easier for you to finally optimize your email automations that will better support all of your other marketing activities. To get more details about the program, including how long it will take you to make your investment back with the fancy ROI calculator I created, thank you AI for the help, go to ecommercebadassery.com/email-badassery. Don't worry, I'll stick a link in the show notes too. All right, next up, let's talk about advertising in ChatGPT. If you haven't already heard, ChatGPT announced a couple of months ago that retailers will be able to advertise their products inside of ChatGPT. This is in addition to the organic shopping results that users will get. When this was first announced, they made it clear that it would only be open to large retailers. A bummer for small businesses, right? Well, if you use Shopify, you can actually advertise your products on ChatGPT through the Shop Campaigns functionality. If you're not familiar with Shop Campaigns, these are performance marketing campaigns, which just means you don't pay unless you make a sale. Think of it more like an affiliate commission than an ad fee that's based on impressions. If you want to learn more about either of those, check the show notes for links to other episodes where I talk more about them and additional resources. Next up, let's talk about another Klaviyo update. Just a few weeks ago on the podcast, I did an entire episode about all of the new features Klaviyo was rolling out, including one I've been asking for since day one of using the platform, 10 plus years ago, which is allowing customers to go through list and segment triggered flows more than once. So exciting. Well, since that episode, Klaviyo has released a bunch of new other features across all of their platforms, but the one I wanted to talk about today, because it's specific to email, is their landing page feature, and this is different from their full page form feature. I've had a couple of people ask me what I thought about these and if they should use them instead of an embedded form on a page on their website. The short answer is no. I still recommend you use a standard page on your website with an embedded Klaviyo form, so the page is on your own website for tracking instead of using a Klaviyo URL. In fairness, you can use a custom domain with Klaviyo landing pages, essentially putting them on a subdomain, but I still really don't recommend it. You're going to get the best tracking if it is just on your website. The only time I would really bother with this is maybe you're just launching your business and you don't have your website live yet, but you want a more robust way to collect email than like Shopify's lock screen. Otherwise, it's just as easy to create a landing page on your website, in my opinion. I will say, Klaviyo has been rolling out a lot of feature updates this year, so I do recommend you keep your eye on it. They have a page on their website that lists out all the changes. Klaviyo.com/whats, WHATS-new. I'll stick a link in the show notes to that too. And then the last thing I want to touch on today is Shopify's customer accounts. For the last couple of years, they've been supporting both new and legacy customer accounts. The main difference between them is that legacy accounts allow you to customize the experience using the theme customizer. You can add sections, etc. The new customer accounts don't give you any customization outside of app extensions that you can insert. For example, widgets that show the customer reward program information, subscription information, things like that. I use legacy customer accounts with a client who was selling wholesale through her store. We needed to add dynamic content that I could show and hide inside the account based on whether or not they were a wholesale customer. That was super easy to do with the standard Shopify theme editor and a custom section. While they have supported both versions for a while, they did recently announce that legacy accounts have been depreciated. New stores will only be able to use the new customer account experience. They have not given an official date on when legacy customer accounts are going to be retired completely, but if you are using them today, I recommend you make the switch sooner rather than later. The good news is it's a pretty seamless process. If you do have any customizations, you'll just need to recreate them with app extensions instead of any code snippets that you copy and pasted, and any reputable Shopify app has already made those updates, so they exist. Otherwise, it's just as easy as turning them on in your admin. For my client who sells wholesale on her store, I'm going to use an app called Hubble. I've talked about it before on the podcast at some point. This allows you to put banners and messages into your customer account pages, and you can get started for free. They even allow for a dynamic banner where it will only show to customers with a specific tag, for example, which is what I'm going to be using for her wholesale customers. If you have any questions about this particular update, I recommend you ask Sidekick. That is the internal Shopify AI tool, which I'm finding not everyone is familiar with. I did cover that on a previous episode. I will stick links in the show notes, but if you look in your header bar in your Shopify admin, you're going to see a little robot face. Click him and that will open Sidekick. He is your Shopify expert. Not only can he answer questions for you, but he can actually take action within your Shopify store. He can create custom sections for you. It's super powerful, and I would definitely check it out. All right, friends, that's all I've got for you today. Keeping this one short and sweet. Make sure you check the show notes at ecommercebadassery.com/366 for links to the resources and episodes I mentioned today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about growing your e-commerce business, get started with my free resource library at ecommercebadassery.com/free stuff and get an invite to the Lounge, my e-commerce marketing membership. When you're ready for one-on-one support, apply to work with me at ecommercebadassery.com/apply. Before you go, would you do me a quick favor? Leave a rating and review and tap that follow button. This pushes me up the chart so I can support more scrappy e-commerce entrepreneurs just like you. I'm on a mission to reach as many as I can, and I could really use your help. Thanks so much in advance. Until next time, e-commerce friend, stay badass.